this shit up? Look, Papa John, we got everything worked out now. The camera's working fine. You can do the show over. Well, I didn't tell that story all last night. You done called me up at 1 o'clock in the morning and said you done messed up on the camera and the shit was all wrong and all fucked up, and called me. And, you know, I was in some booty right then. And, what? What? Just, boy, say what you mean to say. Papa John, the camera's on. The show is on. You're already on, man. Get started. What, boy? The camera is on. Boy, you be playing no games on me. You don't know I was a soldier. You don't know I was a soldier. Hey, y'all, America. This is Papa John. We're going to make some pizza. I'm going to tell you a story last night. It's all about the Pygmie people and the Commandos and the hippopotamus and the giant ostriches and the man who went, oh, you little Pygmie. I'm going to stop from page 1 and tell you the whole story all over. Because I done told you this story while I'm making bread, while I'm making pizza. I'm making the dough. I was making the dough for pizza last night, right? I done told this whole story, and then chef come. I just, boy, you know I still put the whoop on you. I still got the shit. Tell you what, boy. So we was in the deepest, darkest, scariest places of Africa. And I had done recruited all the little Pygmy soldiers, right? And the little Pygmy soldiers, we were so proud of them. We were so proud of them. And they graduated, and all your little fuzzy head was all set up with this little bitty hat. Because we got a little bitty hat for them, because they're little people. They're nice little people, but they're little people, so they need a little hat. And we got a little log and put it down because the chair was too tall. But then everybody else sat on the ground out of respect, because we want to have the Pygmy people high right there. But we still about level. But anyway, so anyway, we so proud of these Pygmy people, and we've been shooting them over walls, and we got ourselves like commando Pygmy people. Oh, look. That number says 777 right there. It says 777. Lemons, large, limes, cinnamon, graham. You tell me to get back to the show, boy. Damn. Now my ass all the way down here. I saw, you know what? I was riding down the road. I saw this fine looking thing. Fine. I turned down that dirt road. She was on a dirt road. I done seen her off in the distance. I was like, when you can see the booty from a long way away, you know what I mean? If the booty turn a corner and it come later, you know what I mean? And you know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that booty. We supposed to be. I'm going to turn the oven on. Okay, we're going to turn the oven on at 400 degrees. We got a dough. And I done made one for a pal of mine. And down here, we got some onions, some green onion chopped up, and some garlic. And we got some honey. This is some honey sausage and some ground beef. And I got 2 kinds of cheese. And my cheese all got wet, but that's another story. So, okay. In the deepest, darkest Africa. We realized that these Pygmy people, they were so special. They could almost talk to the animals. And we was thinking about making like a amphibious assault team of Pygmy people. We could shoot them like torpedoes. We could make them into like, you know, when you put a little wetsuit on them, they get even smaller, you know, and they're like real streamlined, you know. You know, so we got these little guys, and we got them in the scuba gear, and they were little frogmen, Pygmie soldier commando, like crazy. And we were so proud. And see, we done took them down there, and then they showed us, see, these little Pygmie people, they had these tricks. Right? So they had these tricks. I'm gonna put some olive oil on my down. I'm gonna turn that on. Turn the oven on. Put some olive oil on my pizzas. Okay, one not quite ready. I shouldn't put all that olive oil on. But the other one is, because we're gonna eat right now. And so anyways, we's out in the woods, right? And we training them, and they showed us this trick. See, that's what the dough look like right now. My fingers is all greasy. And I'm gonna put you on the kosher. Are you ready to get kosher? Let's get kosher. So we had these people, and we started training them, and they was turning into little commandos, and we finally had this mission. It was like a secret mission. And is that on? That's on. It was like a secret mission to go way, way up in the jungle. And we went by boat. And by like, we had a little bitty U-boat. Because, well, it could like, it fit me and like 17 of them in there, right? But it was a little one, right? But they, you know, I mean, I like these people. They's the finest fighting people I done ever met, the Pygmie people. And they so good. So the chief is going along, and he like to tell a story. And I like a man who tell a story, right? This is not the trick, all right? This is the story, all right? So the story was that, you know, we was on our way to get some Nazis, right? Y'all know we was on our way to get some Nazis, right? So I'm gonna keep this a little bit thicker than it was last time, and see how it all bubbled up? See how it all kind of bubbled up a little bit? That means it's proof of real nice. It's gonna bake up real nice. I got the olive oil on it. Okay? So we're gonna set that aside for a second. Well, no, we're not. We're gonna come right on back. I'm gonna wash my hand. Alright? So I'm walking along, right? And the little Pygmie people, they marching with me, you know. And the Pygmie people, they some good people, you know. And I would march, right? And the little Pygmie people, they would march. And I would march. And the little Pygmie people would march. So while we was doing all this marching, mostly the Pygmie people, but that was okay, but because their little legs move mighty fast, right? They're such good people, I got to tell you. I'm chopping up the food over here. Y'all wanna see what I'm doing? Y'all wanna see what I'm doing? I'm gonna show you what y'all want. I'm gonna show you a little something about what I'm doing over here. While I'm making this. Okay? While I'm making on this. Well, yeah. Damn, boys. Chef, you done move this. Be moving that camera. I done moved it. I just messing with it. See, we got it all bubbled up, guys. And I'm over here, and I'm cooking the meats. See? You know, and I'm breaking them in little pieces. I want a little bit smaller pieces. Okay? So we's marching through the woods, and you know, we's in the jungle, and we get down to our, you know, we got some marching to do. So the chief turned to me, he want to tell me a story. Chief was nice like that. He liked to tell stories. Like I said, so he tell me way back in the day, they used to have ostrich races. I said, ostrich races? I said, you done little fella got on them big birds and going running around. He said, them ain't no big birds. Them is just a little baby ostriches. We used to have war ostriches. I said, war ostrich? What is a war ostrich? And he said, I'm gonna put the onion in there right now, and my garlic. Right? And he said a war ostrich is like 9 feet tall and could carry like 3 or 4 of them. And they had this saddle on it. And it was just a plain old saddle because he was just a plain old ostrich most of the time. And they was plain old folk, you know. Ain't trying to get all, you know, special with the saddle, just a leather saddle, you know. But they had, you know, they was amazing people, right? So they used to have this race, right? Who could ride the giant ostrich from the great Ombabungo over there, which meant the mountain over there, and to the Uda Ada Uda over there, which meant the other mountain on the other side of the valley, right? And on the way, there was but nothing but like things all in the air and like bushes and critters and things that'll scare you if you're just a real person. We're going to put some toasted fennel on here because I feel like shaking it up a little bit. Okay, we're going to do that. We also, ooh, I smell that. I smell that real loud. So we're going to take Chipotle and we're going to kick his butt back. We're going to be like, hey, you ain't even smelling like that. That powerful. And I'm going to go, oh, ooh, ah, ooh, boom, baby, 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 call me. Call me for dinner. Because I know it's about done. Oh, ooh, it's good, man. That's the Papa Murphy dance. That's the Papa Murphy dance. He does the Papa Murphy dance. He do it on your toes. He do it on your nose. He do it everywhere and everywhere you go. So that's the Papa Murphy dance. We like to be looking fine. You know, we do our little dance. So he was telling me about this ostrich race, right? And I'm like, an ostrich race? And he said, yeah. And he said, I want to tell you this story so you can understand where's we going next. I said, what's that have to do? Because she said he had a secret weapon that they used to use back in the old day. And he could pull the magic up. And he would make his commandos the most powerful commandos in the rivers of all of Africa. So of course I told my commander, and my commander was really proud. They done graduate and everything. They had with their little hats and everything with the big smiles. They were such fine folk. Then they did little strong things too. I done seen them pick up some things that was some big things and just throw it like it was nothing. Don't make one of them little fellas mad. You come running across a table at you, jump right up. Don't call them little fellas either like that. They don't like that. You call them little people. Call them Pygmie people. But we talking, right? My oven's eating up. My meat is done, right? I'm running my neck. We got a good show. Okay. So they used to have these giant ostriches. And they used them in warfare. And there would be guys on the back with like spears and rocks. And these giant ostriches could run 83 miles an hour. They was the fastest things on the planet at the time. And that's why the Pygmy people rode them. Otherwise, they'd be riding around on cheetahs, wouldn't you? You know, you want to go moving. So we're going to put a little sauce on this pizza down here. All right, I'm going to do that real quick. All right, this is my mother sauce. Remember my beautiful mother sauce? We made that one day. You can find that. And you look up on my mother red sauce. And it should come up on my video. And I don't know, Chef John, I think, made it. You know, maybe he makes some good food. Yeah. Okay, and we're gonna leave a big old thing of crust right there, cause I'm getting extra saucy up in here. You know, I didn't have to use too much of the sauce But I told you I might have guests, right? You know, I like to be proper with the guests and be ready. I told my brother I'll make some pizza, and he had a bad day yesterday, so I went, you know what, I'll try to do right by my brother. You know what I mean? I saw the po-po yesterday, and I was so happy to see him, because he was the old sheriff, and he used to be he wasn't no touching guy no more, and he used to drink all the time, and he had a fight. He was a crazy sheriff back in the day. Oh. And I saw him in line, and I was like, shook his hand, because I can tell when a man does good in his heart, you know. But back to the Pygmie people. So we were walking through the jungle, and the little chief down here, and he telling me the story. And sometimes he'd take the path up there, so we could talk like this, because you in the jungle, there's paths everywhere. Okay, so he's up here on the path, right? And there's a nice little sidewalk there. And I got my little sidewalk, and we walking. And these little Pygmie people, you know, but the chief, he a little long here. He said, my great-great-great-granddaddy was the best of all the ostrich runners ever. And they called him the Tarzan. The Tarzan of the ostrich. Yes, that's what they called him. The Tarzan of the ostrich. I said, really? They called him the Tarzan of the ostrich. Why'd they call him the Tarzan of the ostrich? I said, well, everybody be racing their ostriches all the time and practicing on the course, and you would never see me as no, oh, my great-grandpappy. He'd be off somewhere practicing on his own, right? And everybody had their own. You know, the ostriches was like 11 feet tall, and they went like 110 miles an hour, right? And if you was a little pygmy person, you had to be like strapped to the back of it, like tied down with rope. It was almost like S&B, but these little guys is toughened. You know what I mean? So, you like what I just did right there? Okay, that's when we're going to come back. Because we're making kind of pan pizza here. We're kind of doing like a little pan thing. So I'm going to come up and put some sauce on top of that. Right like that. You know what I mean? Right. Okay. Okay, but I got to be careful I don't get too thick. I'm going to get my meats all the way out to the edges with my spoon. Yeah. All right. And so, now here comes the day of the race, right? And the day of the race, old Tarzan showed up. Ain't nobody done seen him for a while. You know, old Tarzan showed up. And all of a sudden, boom, they hit a big old tube. It was a log that they hollowed out. One little guy got in there with a router. And the other one from the other side, they used to race and see who gets it, and then they make a boom, 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 boom thing out of it. Well, that's how they started racing. So anyway, this went boom, and it was long for him, but it was short for me, but it was big on the end because they strong, right? They strong people. And he whacked it on the head. He hit that boom, and all these ostriches are like 13 feet tall. I mean, like 500-pound ostriches with an egg like this big as your head, man, and feed your whole family for a week, right? And make enough hollandaise to cover the whole cow and call it Chateaubriand. And so, anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, the races started, and they running. And all of a sudden, old Grandpa done lose his footing, we think. And he's up on top of the ostrich. And he's riding with one hand. And he's doing like this. That's how the cowboys do it. So he was cowboying, right? And he was up on this ostrich like this. And then he went, this is what they done call this the tartan, yeah. He went, hut to, wah! And the ostrich would jump in the air and go, oh! And the ostrich would fly into the air. And little itty bitty you know, he wasn't strapped in. He learned to ride that ostrich without being strapped in. He's a smart little fella. So also he pop off into the air like way up in the air, and he grab a vine, right? Now the ostrich, being that he had less weight and did not have this little annoying pygmy that he thought, you know, on his back, he could run faster. So it worked out for everybody. So, and then the tartan would be up in the vine and he'd swing the vine. He would swing the vine. He had to get way up on the vine because, you know, he's just a little guy. So he had to start way up. He couldn't start down here. He had to start way up here. And he'd be like, ah. And he'd be like, oh. And all the animals be running. And the elephants be coming to help him for some reason. And he'd be like, oh. And he done grabbing on the vine. Like this. He done look like a monkey for a second. And he went, oh. And he done land on top of that ostrich. And that ostrich bucked him off again. Woo! There he went. And then that ostrich is just running and running through the woods, right? And running through the jungle, jumping over things. And he be like, then he be looking for his master, right? And here comes his master out of the air. Boom! And by that time, they was on the other side of the river. And they was winning. And yeah, he done won the race, and he went down history as an innovator. He got that ostrich. He was fearless. That was my great-grandfather. He was a chieftain too. Yeah. So, then we get down to the side of the river, right? And all the Pygmy people just vanished. They can do that really easy because they could be anywhere. I could have a few of them in the house and not even know it. You know what I mean? They're nice people. Don't be scared. Don't be scared if Pygmy people showed up at your house. Isn't you open the cabinet or, you know, open the door, look behind something. There's a Pygmy person. They's nice people. You know, invite them over for dinner. There's warriors. You know, they soldiers. We owe a lot to them. So, we get down to the side of the river, and I got my pizza like this. My oven preheated at 400 degrees, and I put my mozzarella cheese on here, and we get down to the river. Like I said, all the Pygmy people done disappear. And I hear this, woo-ah! Which I ain't never heard them dad ever said no before ever. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the river, come up like 4 little sponges coming up out of the water. And it was nighttime, so it was hard to see them. And it was just like little dark sponges. And then they all went, ee, and they smiled, and they went like that. And they pulled back on this rope, and they was riding on the hippopotamus, right? And the hippopotamus was carrying one of Papa Murphy's cannons on there and one of his torpedoes. And they done made all this, and they showed it to me. I was so proud because they were so smart. They such nice people. I got to use on my cheese because it got wet somehow. It got wet from some other things. So I'm just going to go ahead and use it up. I got a little variety. And so anyways, also I'm going to put a little garlic powder on my cheese. Right on my cheese. Yeah. So anyways, we get down the river and they got the hippopotamus. And they got the cannon and the torpedo on the hippopotamus. And all the soldiers is looking fine. But small, but little, you know, but fine, like that. Proud, but that I'm here, right? And then all of a sudden, it was the scariest thing I done ever seen. It was almost as scary as that lion. Because out of the water, like 2 things that you see down in SeaWorld with the little cute dolphins. These weren't no cute dolphins. These were the crocodiles. And they had caught some Germans and put them on a boat was showing me. And the crocodiles came up, flying in the air out of the water. And they had the little pygmy on the back of it in a skin suit, right? And he had his little goggles on. And he was like, yeah. He looked like he ever having so much fun. And then he go like that. And then, darn it, that crocodile didn't turn. He just grabbed that Nazi. And started chewing on him, flying in the air. And went, whoop, out under the water again. And then from the other side, the other crocodile did the same thing. And I was like, man, I ain't done seen it all. You guys done tamed the hippopotami and the crocodile. And you's the truest soldiers I've ever done seen. And the Pygmy people, they just make me proud. I just to think about the Pygmy people, just make me proud to know that that I could speak for them, because they just little people living in little huts, and they just, down in Africa and the Congo, and it's just I like to tell the stories, because they showed me some things. Yeah. To be an innovator. That's where that word come from. That's not no new word. That the Pygmies made that word up. Yeah. Now y'all know where Tarzan and y'all. Yeah. You wanna know a white man, big old white man, trapped in the woods. He was a little pygmy. But then the old white man showed up and they called him Tarzan too, because he started swinging around the rope the same way. But then they said they're a little different. White folk always say something a little different than the black folk. I don't understand that. But, folks is going to be folks, and people's going to be peoples. And, we got to just, enjoy who we is. And my grandmama told me that. And if my grandmama don't know, I don't know who's going to know, right? We're going to put some pepperonis on this. And that's about it. We're going to have a pizza made. See, I put the hot vati on there. And, I can feel the oven is hot. And, yes, I was make myself laugh a little bit last night on the show. So maybe it's better, we have the show today. And I was kind of doing I don't know, I started getting a twitching and a swaggling, and it started moving all around. And acting weird, saying things 2 and 3 times. And I'm like, oh, Lord, and I'm like, I don't want to do the show when I'm like that, but I like to do the show anyways when I'm like that, because I like to do the show, so go and figure. So anyways, I just want to tell you about that. There's the most amazing thing to ever see a little pygmy riding on the back of a hippopotamus with a cannon and shooting pygmies out of the cannon. And then we had the underwater ones, and every once in a while we got a little pygmy stuck in the mud, right? We have to if we miss, we have to go dig them out of the mud pretty quick, because they strong people, but they can only hold their breath for about 12 minutes. You know what I mean? 12, 13 minutes. You know what I mean? Okay, well, this is old Papa John America, and I'm gonna tell you about more in me and the Pygmie Commando Force and all our explorations with Papa Murphy, because we's got a secret mission on our hand, because the Nazis is up to something awful, and we's gonna stop. Yes, y'all. Alright, this is Papa Murphy, and I got a lot of love for you all, America. And shit, if this asshole over here fuck up camera again, I'll whoop his ass for all of us. Alright. I just come all the way back down here. But that girl was fine, the one that I followed. That's why I did it a little late tonight, because I done followed that girl for a minute. I was like, hey. But we just be talking. Hey. She be a nice lady. I'm gonna put pizza in there. Peace, y'all. And to the Pygmy people, much love. You's all American heroes. Just the heroes to be. Fine people. Fine people. Papa Murphy.